YouTube, what's going on? It's Kyle again from ePoolSupply. We are back this week with Hayward's Wanda the Whale. This is their above ground suction side pool cleaner. We're going to do some quick fix videos for you guys and show you guys how to repair all the little bits and pieces inside this cleaner. Stay tuned. Alright guys, and we're back. So again today we've got some quick fix videos for you guys on Hayward's Wanda the Whale. This is their above ground pool cleaner. As you guys can tell from the intro to right now, we've actually stripped this thing down quite a bit. If you want to know how we got here, make sure you guys check out the links in the description. We'll have a playlist there for you guys where we've actually taken it apart from the outside in. For today's video, the only thing that you'll really need to focus on is how to actually remove that center plate with the black spin wheel on it. In order to get access in here to your turbine completely, remove the turbine and replace it, you'll need to remove that part first. So again, check out that playlist if you guys need tips on how to get that off. But for those of you guys that have already gotten this far and you guys have taken it down, the next thing that you're looking at is removing this lower middle housing. So they have the actual main frame that holds your A-frame kit. Then they have a center plate, and then you have the lower middle housing, and then you have the upper middle housing. So for access to the turbine, you just need to make sure that you're removing this lower middle housing. So once you guys have taken that plate off, all you're going to do is just kind of all together, make sure you kind of hold it. You're going to gently lift this piece out. So as you guys will notice on yours, this gearbox assembly might have fallen out and kind of gone all over the place. So I'll show you guys how to fully put this thing back together. It's not a difficult thing to put back together. Where'd my washer go? You see it? Oh. There's supposed to be a washer, so I will find my washer. Oh, there it is. It just slid off to the side, so I will walk through that for you guys first. But just want to show you guys how to remove this. That'll give you guys access in here to removing the actual back filter cage. So if you guys need to replace this, again, we've got all these parts available for you guys directly on the website. The importance of this is it allows a little bit of water flow to get into the cleaner without allowing the debris to get in there. So that's why you guys will notice that it's a very fine grate. So unless it's just very, very small particles of sand, you don't really have to worry about anything getting in and actually getting access in here to your gearbox or your turbine. So if you guys need to replace that, this will be that quick fix as well. So just want to show you guys how to do that. But once you remove that, here's your turbine. Pretty straightforward. There is no other pieces holding it together. Everything's kind of pressure fit down. So as you remove that and your center plate, then obviously you do need to make sure that you get all the way in there to get access. It's good to check on this every now and then and make sure that your bearings are free spinning still, and make sure that you haven't snapped off this extra little piece of the turbine, because then this won't actually rotate the way that it should and actually operate your A-frame kit correctly. So you'll notice, unlike some of their new recent cleaners, that this does not have a full even turbine. You'll notice that it's actually offset on one side. And that's the reason why for that is that as it rotates, it needs to rock that A-frame back and forth. So in order to make sure that the A-frame rocks back and forth, you do have to have that little offset so that as this is free spinning in there, it's kind of knocking that around, which helps that cleaner agitate across the bottom of the floor. So definitely want to make sure that there's no cracks or issues with this turbine. Again, we'll have this available for sale for you guys down in the links in the description, so come check out the website. We'll have all the other parts, but it is directional, and one thing I really like is that they do make sure that they put an R on one side and then an L on the other, so then that way you guys know which side is going to be your right and which side is going to be your left, as well as handy R and L on the actual upper middle housing, so then that way you guys can actually make sure you set this back in there correctly. One other big thing is with this other extra piece of plastic they have, it does have a special notch inside the upper middle housing here, so that you'll know that when you're setting it down, if it's kind of offset, that you guys just need to flip it around and put it in there the other direction. So just want to show you guys some more on the turbine, and then talk to you guys a little bit more about the gearbox and kind of the functionality of what the gearbox does. So you heard me mention earlier, I could not find my washer, so they do give you this little tiny plastic white washer. You definitely want to make sure that that's included down here on this actual peg on the gearbox. And then of course you do have the black cap that sits on top of it. The whole point of this is that as this cleaner is moving around, this actually has some little gears in there which we don't actually recommend you trying to replace or fix. Just buy a new gearbox. They're reasonably priced, so it's not too expensive to buy this. But the point of this is it helps tell the brain up top that as the cleaner is running, it helps it change directions at different times. So then that way your cleaner is not just constantly running straight into a wall. It allows flow to actually make sure that it turns and goes different directions. So as everything is free moving inside the cleaner, based off the suction you provide, this thing will rotate with the gears inside, and it caps off another piece, which allows everything to flow freely the way that it should. So if you're noticing that it's just going straight into the wall and it's dying, then more than likely you need to make sure that you're checking this gearbox. Sometimes fine debris gets stuck in here into these gears. These gears are going to wear down. Everything's plastic in these cleaners. So again, chemical composition, as well as all your debris that it's actually picking up, can make sure that the lifespan of these things don't last very long. So as suggested, every other season, definitely take this thing apart, triple check it, make sure you guys aren't having any other issues. It's a lot cheaper to stay on top of the maintenance than it is to have to buy a cleaner every other season or every 3 seasons, whatever it may be, how often you guys are using it. But it's definitely cheaper to make sure you guys are paying attention to just these little parts rather than having to buy a whole new thing every time. So just want to show you guys some of that, talk about that. Know that you guys don't need to replace any part inside this gearbox. It is a little tricky when you guys are trying to get everything put back together to fully let it sit down back onto the cleaner. This has its own little molded section inside the top lid here. So obviously when you guys are putting it back in, you got to kind of be really methodical on how to get it to sink down properly, as this screen needs to be attached at the same time and everything kind of has to slide in together. So if you have the ability to have 2 people, it might help. Otherwise, if you guys can use some kind of paper of some sort or something to just kind of help make sure that everything sits properly. Before the video started, I thought I had it set right by just quickly removing my hand, and as you guys tell, I lost my washer before it started, so that definitely caused issues. And then again, if it's not operating correctly, then you're going to run into problems. Again, I missed it on that, so I would have to try it again and make sure everything sits down in there properly and line it up. So take your time. It might be easier if you had somebody else to help you as well, rather than you just trying to do it yourself, because once again, don't know where my washer went. So it fell through the lid. So just want to show you guys how to get access in here to the turbine, give you guys some quick fixes as well as some important information about the gearbox. Please hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. We're going to have a ton of videos coming your way on this cleaner as well as all the other cleaners out there on the market. And so, yeah, really appreciate you guys watching. I'm Kyle from ePoolSupply, and we'll see you next time.